morning. I'm going to kick things off talking about empowering your sales team to be more productive. Basically, we're going to talk about the different communication channels that you have that integrate into the CRM. So to kind of set the stage and give you an idea of where we're going to go with this, we're going to walk through a little bit of a scenario. All right? So let's pretend that I'm interested in buying some new furniture. So what do? First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to hit up Google. And I'm just going to search for contemporary office chairs. I want some fancy furniture. So I'm going to click on the very first link that I see here. And when I go to their website, I look around, I check out the inventory, and I really like their selection of contemporary office chairs. So I decide to reach out to them and try and schedule an appointment to come in and see. I put in this information, and I eagerly wait for a response. And I get one right away. They probably have their CRM and their website integrated because that email kicked out right away. And I've got a phone number so I can reach back out to them. And that's great because I want to talk to a live person. So I call the number and nobody answers. It's such a bummer. So I decide, you know what? I really, really like those contemporary office chairs. So I'm going to try and reach them again. I go back to their website. And I click around and I find this option to chat with them. And I think, oh, that's perfect. Maybe I can get a phone call out of doing this. But when I go to try the chat, it says that nobody's online. So I have to leave a message. Makes sense, right? They didn't answer the phone. They're probably not available right now. Maybe they went to a really early breakfast or lunch or something. So I fill out this form hoping that I'll get some sort of response. But once I do that and I wait around, I still don't hear anything back. So what do I do next? I try social media. Social media is a little bit better of a way to try and reach out to businesses sometimes because there's some accountability on that. People will be able to see if they don't respond back to me, and that's usually something they don't want. So everything else is kind of offline in the sense that nobody knows if they've reached out to me or not yet, but this gives me a way to try and different approach. But after I tweet and I wait for a while, I get nothing back. So I'm frustrated, right? Obviously, nobody's gotten in touch with me. I really want to give them my money, but nobody wants to take it. Does this sound familiar? Has anybody had an experience like this where you found something you really want, but you can't seem to get anybody to come back to you so that you can talk to them about it and actually make a purchase? It's a common thing that happens. In all of those cases, does this mean that those are bad businesses and they don't know what they're doing? Sometimes, maybe, but not always because they probably wouldn't be in business for very long. The truth is, this is a common problem. And the reason that this usually happens is because sales teams are just not empowered to be able to manage all of those different communication options. There are so many different ways that customers can reach out to them. They're having to hop around to the different platforms to check them, and they're trying to sell, they're trying to build their pipeline. It's difficult to keep in touch with all of that. And so we have given you a way to pull that all into the CRM. And so I'm calling this Omnichannel engagement. And this basically means all of those different touch points, email, phone, your website, social media, all of that can be connected with your CRM account. So as soon as those touch points happen, you'll get a notification and you can check them all from right inside the CRM. This is really helpful for your sales team because they don't have to scatter across these different platforms. They can kind of do everything inside one place, and they can get notified for it in real time. So let's take a look at how this looks. So this is your email. Now, we talked yesterday about how you can integrate your email into the CRM, and that's great because when that happens, you'll get notified if someone who is a lead or a contact reaches out to you. But we also have a feature called Sales Inbox. And this allows you to connect your full mailbox into the CRM. So not just the people who are leads and contacts, but everything. And it's going to categorize your emails based on how they are linked in your CRM account. So this isn't for everyone. We typically call Sales Inbox the email client for salespeople. And the reason why is because it helps them to prioritize their email based on the way that they're connected in your CRM so that they can know who they need to respond to first. So it's going to try and organize based on if they're in your CRM at all, if they are a colleague, if you have a deal with them. This is a place that your team can go in and actually check their messages. They don't have to leave the CRM to check anything. So it doesn't matter that the people that are reaching out are not yet in the CRM. You'd be able to check that from inside here. Email and CRM do not have to be separate. You're also able to integrate your phone system. So when you do this, any incoming phone calls that you get will give you a little pop-up in the bottom right corner. If they are already a lead or a contact in your CRM, you'll have some contextual information on them. So you'll be able to see who they are, a little bit of information. You can click on them and go right to their record in the CRM and kind of view anything you need before you attend the call. If they're not yet in your CRM account, it'll just be their number. So this helps a little bit on the sales side. They can kind of screen the call and decide if that's something that they want to take. But the main thing is that it gives them an real-time, immediate notification that that call's coming in. And if they miss that call, they'll get an alert for that as well. Similarly, they can also do click to dial and call the customer back from inside the CRM. So this is helpful for if you're scheduling appointments. They don't have to pick up the phone and dial the number, worry about user error when they're punching in that number. That's going to be just something they'll be able to directly do from right here. So then what about your website visitors? And this is going to show you all of the incoming visitors that are on your website. So you'll be able to go in and you'll see who's available right now. So you'll get a real-time notification every time someone enters your website. It's connected to your CRM. You'll get that nice little ringing sound to let you know so that you can attend the chat. And when you go on, you'll be able to see kind of the full details of the pages that they visited and how long they've been there. And it'll give you the option to start chat sessions right away. So you don't have to worry about missing any of those. And if you're offline and then you finally do come back online, you'll be able to still see who's available or who's currently sitting on your website, even though you're in the CRM. You don't have to leave that platform at all. Social media. You are also able to bring all of those social media engagements into the CRM as well. So there's going to be this sweet little social tab inside the CRM that categorizes your social media engagements based on if they are in your CRM at all yet, or if they're lead or contact, open deal, closed won deal for a customer. And this gives you a way to kind of see those engagements in one spot. So instead of having to jump over to Twitter, jump over to Facebook, and see if you've gotten any messages or notifications, you'll be able to see that right in this spot. And you can also reply to them from directly in this area as well. Now, this is just, I should mention, this is just Facebook and Twitter. If you're on the marketing side and you're wanting more of like a full, like integrate all your different social media applications into that so you can manage that, then that's a tool, something like Zoho Social. That's more social media focused. This is really, you want to think of it in the context of sales. So your sales team needs to monitor social media engagements just to see if people are reaching out to them that are asking sales questions so that they can make sure to jump on those. All right. And then we also have an option for managing those in-person communications. So if you are visiting a client and you have our mobile app, you'll be able to open that up and you'll see a map of your leads or contacts as they are located around you. You can set a specific mile radius as well just to see who all's around. So this is helpful for if you finish that meeting and you want to go visit some other clients or visit some other leads and try and fill some new opportunities out. You'll be able to do that and pull those up right there, jump into their record, view the information. When you're meeting with them, you can add notes, you can schedule follow-up activities, all of that right from inside the mobile app. So if you don't have the mobile app already, I definitely recommend that you go in and download that. It's just Zoho CRM, and it'll come up right away, little handshake icon. You can't miss it. All right, so this is great. We've given you a way to pull all of these different options into one system. So instead of having to go to social media to check that, to go to your mailbox and check your email, to go to Sales IQ and check out the visitors, all of that can be pulled into one spot. But can we make this better? We definitely can. We can make sure that you get these in real time. So these are real-time engagements. You're going to get notifications as soon as someone tweets at you, as soon as someone sends you an email, as soon as they open emails that you've sent them. All of that you're going to get an instant notification on so that you can make sure to act on them right away. So what this will look like is this sales signals option inside the CRM. So if you've ever wondered what that little bell icon in the top right corner is, that's related to sales signals. So sales signals will send you an alert every time someone has tried to reach out to you through one of those different communication channels. So you'll see here that missed call from earlier when I reached out and nobody answered. That shows up in there. That tweet from earlier, when I click on the mention where it tells me that somebody mentioned my handle, I can immediately see that tweet and I can open it and reply directly from here. These are a couple of the other notification points. So that missed chat when I tried to reach out to them and let them know that I was interested. The time that they sent me that email and I opened it, that notification comes in here. So this is a really important key thing to mention. When it comes to tracking the emails, these are only going to be the emails that are sent from the CRM. So if you're sending your email from your mailbox, from Gmail or Office 365 or wherever your email is hosted at, it's not able to track those messages, but if you're sending it from inside the CRM, it can track those messages. And usually, you think about this again in more of the sales context. A lot of the emails that are going out from the CRM are probably going to be automated, right? They're going to be part of workflows that you have. You try to reach a customer and you update the status to voicemail when you aren't able to reach them. And it immediately can kick out an email that says, hey, sorry, I missed you. Here's my contact information. I'd like to get in touch. And then you schedule a follow-up to try and call them again. That email is trackable because that came out directly from the CRM. So any sort of automated messages that you have going out based on your different workflows, any mass emails that you're sending from inside the CRM, and any individual mails that you send in the CRM as well, those are fully trackable. So when someone opens it, when someone clicks on a link, if it bounces, all of that good stuff, you're going to get a sales signal notification on that right away. And then similarly, if you're using Zoho Survey, as soon as someone responds to a survey, that's going to immediately give you a sales signal notification as well, just so you can jump in and look at the most up-to-date survey responses you've gotten. Now on that sales IQ integration part, same way, I think we looked at a similar screen for this earlier, but when you see that missed visitor chat option, you'll be able to click on it and see a full detail of exactly what pages that they've moved through. So this is helpful for you to kind of determine, does it look like they're maybe going to be leaving the site soon? You have an idea of the logical flow on your site of the different pages people tend to go through. So this gives you an idea of where they've been at and if you need to kind of jump on that immediately so that you can engage with them before they leave your site. And then your Zoho desk tickets as well. So we've talked about the desk integration a little bit yesterday. Those are going to show up in sales signals too. So whenever somebody sends in a ticket or responds to a ticket, or you have a conversation back and forth through the comments with your support agents, all of those things are going to give you a notification in sales signals. So you'll be able to jump on those immediately. And that's not everything. We also have all of these other integration points available through our marketplace. So we talked a lot about this yesterday. You're definitely never boxed into just using Zoho apps. If you're comfortable with other things like MailChimp or DocuSign or Zendesk, any of those other apps, not only are you able to connect those into the CRM, but you'll also be able to enable sales signals notifications for those too. So you don't have to jump to Zendesk to see if you've gotten any tickets. You'll be able to get the ticket notification in the CRM just like you would if you were using Zoho Desk. All right, so let's take a look at how this works. So all of this is going to flow through what we call the channels option inside the CRM. So when you go into your setup menu, and then we see our channels option here. So email is at the top of the list. But I just want to show you where you would configure that to kind of get the ball rolling. So I've already got my email connected in here. As soon as you connect your email, you can then start using Sales Inbox. So it's not like it's a separate process. You can go in and enable Sales Inbox at any time. Your email's still going to go into your Gmail or wherever that's hosted like normal. It's just also going to have all of that flowing into that Sales Inbox tab if you decide to use that. And that's the option where you can kind of have all your emails categorized. So you'll be able to connect your email in here, and that's how you'll get that channel linked in. The telephony option lives right under channels on that next page. And you'll see here there are tons of different telephony providers. We have lots of options, and we are growing this all the time. So if you don't see the telephony option that you use right now, then there are definitely integration options out there. There are development partners that can help you connect your phone system with the CRM, or you can move over to one of these if you want to. The bottom line is this is a really helpful integration piece. Having your telephony provider linked in with your CRM account helps with that click to dial, helps with the getting those incoming call notifications, all of that stuff. This is really helpful for your sales team because this can save them a ton of time. This is probably one of the things that sales teams get hung up on a lot, is having to pick up that phone and dial and worry about missed dials and all of that. This is just a really nice seamless integration. Our social integration section is here. So I've got my awesome little fake Twitter handle connected in here. It's the Pink Emporium, where we sell all pink items, and it's awesome. I wish it was a real company. But this is where you come in to add your Twitter handle. You just come in, you add your account. You can also add your Facebook in here as well. And that's all you'll have to do. Once you add that in, then there's going to be a social tab in the CRM where, just like we saw earlier, all of those incoming tweets and Facebook posts and all of that are going to show up. Now, the social tab is also really cool because you can do more than just see the social media engagements that you've got. You'll also be able to make new posts from there. You can also do keyword searches too. So this is great for like a sales team to kind of do a lead gen. They can search for keywords that are relevant to their business and see what people are saying. So it's a good example of this is anytime I've done this in search for CRM, I inevitably always see some people saying either they're unhappy with their CRM provider, or they're interested in getting a CRM, or they're asking for information on CRMs. That's a perfect opportunity for a salesperson to reply and be like, hey, have you checked out Zoho, right? There's a lot of really cool things that you can do with that social tab. And then the chat. And this is where you can configure the portal for your Sales IQ account to connect that into CRM. Once you do that, then that little option for letting you know people are online will be up in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And that's just going to flash and give you bells and all that stuff anytime someone comes onto your website. And then that Sales Signals option, so the place where you can actually configure all the notifications you want. So you may not necessarily want to get all of the different notifications that you can possibly get, right? So you can actually come in here and turn on and off what you do or don't want. Now, it's important to note, because a lot of people don't realize this, because they'll find out about these different notifications and they're like, I never get this. Well, the reason why is you do have to enable sales signals. So when you first go into your account, you can actually go in and turn the sales signals option on. And when you do that, then you can go through each of these different integration pieces and tell it what you want to be notified for. So incoming emails, when people are opening, clicking, if you get a bounce on your emails, those missed calls, the Zoho campaigns. So if you've got Zoho campaigns connected, whenever people are opening or clicking on those campaigns, you can get notifications for that. Your missed chats from Sales IQ, the incoming tickets, the new responses, the comments from the support team, all of that collaboration, you'll get notifications. And then your social media. And then I've also got Zoho Sign showing up on here just so you guys can know if you're using these different, these other options, other Zoho apps or other pieces, you'll be able to connect those into the CRM as well. And then you'll have an option to enable or disable those notifications in this area. So, when we looked at that page that had MailChimp and DocuSign and all that, you would be able to configure those notifications in this section too. All right. So I'm going to recap this now. Basically, what we've talked about are all of the different ways that you can integrate your communication channels into the CRM. So you don't ever have to worry about missing an outreach from a customer. You would be able to see the social media posts, the calls, the emails, all of that in real time so that you can immediately act on it. They don't have to worry about missing out on it or forgetting about it. You're going to have that notification. And this is good for the sales team so they can be more productive. They can manage all of this easily. And on the management side, you're going to be able to view a full kind of concise overview of all of those different communications in one spot. So you don't have to move across the different platforms. You'll be able to kind of look in the record and see at a glance all of the different touch points that have happened so far, especially when you're trying to close a deal. All right. Thank you, guys.